On Friday, US President Donald Trump's Middle East envoy, Steve Witkoff, visited a food aid distribution center in Rafah, Gaza. The center is run by the Israel-backed Gaza Humanitarian Foundation (GHF), an American contractor accused of poor performance and linked to violent incidents. Witkoff was joined by US Ambassador to Israel Mike Huckabee. Their goal, according to Witkoff, was to assess the humanitarian situation and give Trump clear understanding on how to improve food and medical aid delivery to Gaza. The visit took place in Rafah, one of the GHF sites in southern Gaza. The GHF says it's providing over 1 million meals daily, but United Nations reports claim the organization is falling short and that nearly 900 Palestinians have been killed near aid sites. GHF denies this figure. Witkoff posted on social media that he spent over 5 hours in Gaza to get the facts and speak with GHF staff. Notably, he did not meet with UN officials, even though the UN has been providing aid since the war began, UN Deputy Spokesman Farhan Haq said. While GHF insists its efforts are effective, critics say the visit was more about publicity than solutions. Some Palestinian residents argue that the visit ignored the real suffering and was meant to distract from the worsening crisis. Scott Paul, Oxfam's America's Director for Peace and Security, said Witkoff and Huckabee likely witnessed heartbreaking scenes of families and children facing starvation, displaced and living among the rubble of destroyed neighborhoods. The UN warns that man-made starvation is unfolding, with hundreds dying from hunger. Recent Israeli attacks have killed dozens more civilians, including children. Palestinian health officials say at least 162 people have died from famine, including 89 children, since the war began in October 2023. Witkoff and Huckabee also met with Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu before the Gaza visit. Trump, who has recently acknowledged that starvation is happening in Gaza, contradicting Netanyahu, said, "We want to help people. We want to get them fed." Still, Trump has not agreed to recognize a Palestinian state and continues to view Hamas as the main obstacle to peace. While he promises a new aid plan soon, it's unclear whether it will expand GHF operations or introduce something new. Meanwhile, more deaths were reported near the Rafah site shortly after Witkoff's visit. GHF denied involvement, but human rights groups continue to describe the sites as death traps. Criticism also came from within the US former State Department official Anel Sheline, who resigned over Gaza policy, called the visit a glorified photo op. Others, like Oxfam's Scott Paul, warned the crisis is reaching a point of no return. Trump has claimed the US gave $60 million to GHF, but records show only $30 million has been committed. Huckabee blames Hamas for stealing aid and inflating prices. Sugar, for example, is reportedly sold for $200 on Gaza's black market. The visit came as ceasefire talks stalled again. Trump hinted at supporting a New Orleans deal involving the release of all hostages and Hamas' full disarmament, but Hamas says it won't return to talks until more aid is allowed into Gaza. The US and Israel pulled out of ceasefire talks last week, accusing Hamas of lacking coordination and not negotiating in good peace. That's all for now from Global Pulse Unplugged. Stay sharp, stay informed, and we'll see you next time.